I have to read the 93 documents.
Can you just table what you have?
If the majority leader said there's no time, you have got power under standing order number 1 to adjourn this process. We come back in the new term when there's enough time. I do proper substantiation. I'm not going to be crucified on a cross of no time.
Laying your evidence.
But you cannot tell me how to lay my evidence by denying me to lay the evidence, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So, Senator Kiomtata, just lay on the table the documents that you have.
The Speaker was at number 5. The Appropriation Act 2018 on pages 100 to 131. The Appropriation Act 2019 on pages 132 to 159. The Appropriation Act 2020 on pages 160 to 194. The Appropriation Act 2021 on pages 195 to 221. The Appropriation Act 2022 on pages 222.
Majority Leader, what's your point of order?
Rules, and we cannot create rules for ourselves. What Senator Mtata finds to be just to him might not necessarily be just to me. Mr. Speaker, there is a well laid down procedure, and it's not the first time. Senator Mtata, I'm sure, has seen other members being challenged and asked to do substantiation and how it has been done. Surely, Senator Mtata, even if you try to persuade us that what you're doing is substantiation by quoting documents that are publicly available with no explanation whatsoever, we don't have the benefit of that document. You're just being dramatic. I would wish, Mr. Speaker, to request that if Senator Mtata really wanted to substantiate, then he will take time and explain. Mr. Speaker, I beg for your attention because I can see, I don't mind resuming my seat. You'll be briefed first, then I speak because I need your attention. I proceed? You see, Mr. Speaker, we have been on this matter for 30 minutes. You actually rose at 16:00. It's now 16:38. And the reason, Mr. Speaker, we are not making headway is because our colleague is insisting on a procedure that only he has invented, not how this House has normally transacted its business. So can you guide us, Mr. Speaker? If you're permitting Senator Mtata to read all the 93 documents, it's okay, we'll sit and be prepared. If you're asking him to table the documents, as has been the practice, then we shall equally be prepared. What happened is that you had an altercation between the two of you, then Senator Mtata just started reading, so we don't know what's happening. So I want to know, what is your decision on this matter? Do we sit down and listen to him reading the 93 documents, or he tabled, so that we know what to do?
You remember, Majority Leader, I clearly guidance Senator Mtata, there is no need of reading the 93 titles that is reading all documents, one by one up to 93. He can say, I have these documents, which are from content number 1 to number 93 or to number 100, and then he tables that volume. I have this another set, this set containing this information, and then he tables, right? So we don't need to he's insisting he should read the 93 documents or whatever evidence he has. So Senator Kiomtata, I lead and guided you, just table the say from number 1 to 93, this is what I have.
Mr. Speaker, sir, yesterday, when I commented that these documents were publicly available and I did not need to substantiate, I was told to substantiate. Now Majority Leader stands here and says these are public documents that are readily available. Why this circus? Yesterday I said it's public information. I was told to come and it was not public information.
Can you table the documents that you have?
And I'm going to
without
table the
reading
documents,
number 1 to 93.
and I'm not going to be micromanaged in the way I
But
defend myself.
the chair gives guidance to the House, not to micromanaging.
But you are
You are
guiding
not
me.
the chair, Senator Mtata.
I'm not the chair.
Senator Mtata. You cannot take the authority of the chair and say what you want to do and what you must do. If you are not ready to follow the chair, then it's up to you. Because you are supposed to substantiate. If you are not ready to follow the chair's guidelines, then maybe you are not ready to substantiate. Or maybe you know your documents have no material, enough material. Just a minute. So, Senator Kiomtata, you know, we have some business to clear before the end of business today. And the reason why we have authority, even that means there, is for the chair to guide the House appropriately. And if I've guided you and you are not listening to the chair, then I'll be left with another option. But to use my the standing orders, which is the creation of this Senate. So can you kindly, and I've appealed to you severally, in a very gentle manner, to table the documents that you have in a manner that I have prescribed.
Mr. Speaker, I've listened to what you just said when I was sitting there, that you think these things might be empty, tabula rasa, that maybe I'm not able to. You are casting aspersions on me, who is coming to appear before this House, and I don't know what kind of conduct that is. Mr. Speaker, this House is not ready for me to substantiate. Let the chips fall where they may, or where they must. This House is not ready for me to substantiate. I'm not going to be part of a masquerade.
Are you ready to table the documents, or you are not?
What have I been doing all the time? You have been stopping. I tried to substantiate, to explain what was in the documents. I was stopped. When I began reading the list of documents, the majority leader stood up and said, "I'm reading things without explaining. Why am I being tied in knots?" Mr. Speaker, I was elected to be here. I represent people in this House. Then they don't elect me to come and perform.
You know, you are elected also to follow guidelines of the Senate. That is why not everybody is
the
in this
guidelines
House.
are not what is in the mind of an individual.
Because
the guidelines are in a piece of paper called the standing orders. I've been asked to substantiate. It's an English word. Mr. Speaker, can you guide me on the meaning of the word substantiate? Then I proceed. Word. Mr. Speaker,
I can see Senator Mtata is not ready to do that. Let's go to the next order. Yeah, that's what I want to check. You know there are two ways, Senator Mtata. What you can do, there are two ways to do it. Either you request the speaker, the chair, for more time to do it, or maybe you say you withdraw and you are not able to substantiate. That is the only two ways that you have. Yes, Senator Mtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I request that you allocate a new date when I can come in the new term to do a substantiation, something that comes from the word substance, substantiation, and not articles. And you know, if you read Aristotle, you have got substance, reality is made of substance, and habit. I want to deal with the substance, not the habit. But you stopped me to explain the titles. You stopped me, you stopped me. So, Mr. Speaker, give me time when I can come back and walk the House.
Order, Senator Mtata. Order, Senator Mtata. Senator Mtata, Senator Mtata's request is very valid. This matter, as the majority leader put it, is very, very important for this nation. And we must give him time also to just go back, and also you can also summarize the 93, 1 to 93, you can summarize and bring something concrete to this House, which we can also give, the chair will give us even an opportunity to debate those documents that you have, so that also we can help this country in one or the other. So, not today. I've given him time after the break. He can come back with a lot of energy. But now he should reduce that volume from number 1 to 93. Also, even when we come back, reading from 1 to 93 still will not be. Yeah, so Senator Okiya Mtata, go summarize your evidence, and then you bring when we resume. Let's go to the next business. Honorable Senators, you know, before we go to that break, we were on the comments on statements. So maybe we can go there straight away. Senator Tobiko, is she around? Senator Kenyuri. You know, men have a bit argued here, one or the other. You give us at least maybe another platform from this gracious lady.
Thank you, Speaker. I wish to comment on the statement by Senator Wambua and Senator Kavindu on the killings we are experiencing, just by mentioning that the same, less than 2 weeks ago, we lost one Elijah Nyambega who was abducted and murdered by unknown assailants, who was a student in KU from Nyangusu in Bobasi constituency. Then later on, there was a decomposing body of an elderly man, 50 years, by the name Geoffrey Oteri Nyamao. And just yesterday, we have one Amos Manasseh of Keroka Technical Training Institute, who was actually stoned to death yesterday, Mr. Speaker. We are having a series of these murders, reasons not known, because there are so many allegations surrounding the deaths of those people. I want to call that the security department really looks into this matter and urge that our people should not take the law to their own hands, where you stone people and kill people without giving chance to know why we are having what we are having, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to call that the security agencies swing into action, not only in looking into the issue by Senator Wambua and Senator Kavindu, but also by the murders that have reported from those areas, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Sifuna.
Speaker, I wanted to make brief comments on the statement that was brought by Senator for Bomet, Wakili Hilary Sigei, on unpaid contractors. Just to inform this House, in the morning, Honorable Speaker, we had a conversation with the chair of COG. The chair of COG is the governor of Wajir, and some of the problems that we were discussing are captured in the conversation that has been initiated by Senator Sigei. Speaker, in fact, one of the clashes that we're having with county governors is that they don't want monies that go to counties to be ring-fenced for specific purposes. But the frustration that is on the ground, and I'm sure colleague senators will agree, is that whenever we lump the county money in the equitable share, most of the times the governors do what they want with that money. The governor of Mombasa appeared before us and told us that the reason why the county governments don't want to employ the UHC workers who are outside our gate just now on permanent and pensionable is because they wanted the money that was dispatched with all sorts of complaints and so on and so forth. So we asked the governor of Wajir, who's the chair of the COG, we asked the governor, why don't you discuss the additional money that these senators fought for? Because as a collective, governors are getting an extra 13 billion shillings, which is actually more than the 8 billion that is going for the PNP for the UHC workers. What is the difference between the 13 billion that we have added as a Senate and the 8 billion that is under county government's additional allocation? Why can they use the extra money from the Senate under the equitable share, the 13 billion, to have these UHC workers on permanent and pensionable? And they don't have an answer. So we are growing increasingly frustrated, Honorable Speaker. They are saying that now they can only give 1-year contracts to these UHC workers because their money is coming as a conditional grant. But in the Senate here, we feel we should tie their hands even more, Honorable Speaker. It's very frustrating, to the point where we feel, even here in Nairobi, we should have money set aside and ring-fenced for collection of garbage so that we can see these things happening, for roads and so on and so forth. We don't want to micromanage the counties. But I am hoping that these conversations can continue and that we can be able to find solutions as a family of devolution to some of these challenges. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I want to speak to the topic raised by our colleague Senator Sigei, just like the senator who's spoken before me. Pending bills is a national crisis. And if we are serious as a House, Senator Mtata, and my colleague, Senator Sifuna, Eddie, colleagues who are in the House, we must now forget everything else that we've done and face these governors right in the eye and make a decision as a House. And it is within our powers. A resolution of the House is binding. That's why, Mr. Speaker, if you recall, when Senator Ledama came up with his motion, I felt that we ought to have gone a bit further, despite the fact that we have just concluded the budgeting cycles, that it is still within our powers, Mr. Speaker, to make a binding resolution. You know, if you listen to governors, if you ask your governor colleagues, they'll tell you these are bills that are inherited from Governor so-and-so. But the truth of the matter is that, and I have done the analysis for this, I asked the Parliamentary Budget Office to help me. Almost every governor without fail has, as of now, tripled the pending bill that they inherited in 2022. So it is not true to say that these are historical debt that were incurred either unprocedurally by their predecessors. We should then force, Mr. Speaker, that as a county government, you settle first at least what you've incurred during your term, Mr. Speaker. And this is the last financial year. Otherwise, this will become a vicious cycle that will never end, such that in the next maybe 5 or 10 years, Mr. Speaker, the same crisis of the documents that you've seen Senator Mtata trying to table here on debt Because what is pending bill is just another form of debt, because you've incurred either procedurally, Mr. Speaker, and you have not paid for that particular service, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I want to request that when we resume, because today, unfortunately, is our last day before we proceed for a 3-week recess, Mr. Speaker, this matter should be given the priority that it deserves. Because, Mr. Speaker, I listened to people raise concerns yesterday. If you are not careful, because this is an election year, what county governments will do with the money that you've just added, the 13 or 14 billion, Mr. Speaker, is that they will hire more casual workers and things like that for election purposes, where governors now will go from one village and say, who is the most needy person in this particular village, and say, okay, give him a job. And of course, the public will cheer and say, we have a very kind governor, Mr. Speaker. But what will be the import? What will be the import of that decision, Mr. Speaker? Therefore, we must be firm about this particular decision on pending bills, and not just limit it to let individual senators, like now what Senator Sige is bringing the attention of what's happening in Bomet to. We must have this conversation wholesomely, Mr. Speaker. And I know for a fact that this is a problem that cuts across all the 47 county governments without fail. And the budget committee must lead us, Mr. Speaker. There are solutions which we can ring fence, including passing acts of parliament, Mr. Speaker, further amendments to what we've just concluded, so that at least the people who flood our offices with messages and all these things saying, please speak on our behalf. And they are rightfully doing so, because you are a representative of people. And those people include contractors who haven't been paid for services that they've rendered. Mr. Speaker, therefore, I want to move that when we resume mid of July, after today's rise of the House, Mr. Speaker, this matter must be top on the items that we chase viciously. Of course, alongside what Senator Mtata will say, we have denied him the opportunity to do, because I want to hear that well also, Mr. Speaker. It is equally important. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Andy Okech.
Mr. Speaker, I also want to add my voice to the statement by the Senator of Bomet, Senator Wakili Hilary Sigei, on the failure by the county government of Bomet to pay contractors for completed roadworks. Mr. Speaker, I do know that this has been committed to my committee, and therefore I don't need to belabor, because I will do it justice as it is needed and as required. But Mr. Speaker, I want to bring to the attention of this House that this issue of pending bill to constructors is indeed a very big issue. And Mr. Speaker, I don't know at what point can the Senate be able to explore a possibility of a special audit on pending bills, especially on contractors and suppliers in our counties, Mr. Speaker. Because when governors look at the issue of pending bills, we've seen one or two try to do some kind of an oversight exercise, where they put an oversight committee to be able to look at the pending bills in their counties, whether they are genuine or not genuine, and then from that use it as the framework for being able to deal with the pending bills in their counties. But Mr. Speaker, we must face this problem and confront it on the face, because most of the governors that we have are using the issue of pending bills as a bait to enable corruption. This is the problem, where they are requesting for serious handouts and percentages of monies that contractors and suppliers are seeking for the counties to pay, that they must be given upfront, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know of my county, Migori County, Mr. Speaker, a number of pending bills that are not being paid because suppliers and contractors are asked for money by the governor of Migori County, Mr. Speaker. Why can't we confront this issue? I know for a fact, Mr. Speaker, suppliers and contractors in Migori counties whose monies are not being paid because they're not politically correct with the governor of Migori County, Mr. Speaker. I know for a fact suppliers and contractors in Migori County, Mr. Speaker, who the network within the governor of Migori County, CCs and chief officers, are requesting them for 10%, 20%, 30% in advance for them to be able to pay those monies, Mr. Speaker. Why are we not confronting this reality, Mr. Speaker? It is a serious issue that we must actually confront, and beyond just facing it with the issue of going to seek this statement from the from the Transport and Roads Committee, which I sit, and I'm going to do it justice, Mr. Speaker. I want to request this House that, Mr. Speaker, we bring a special audit infrastructure into the issue of pending bills. Mr. Speaker, you will find that even the kind of awards that are being given to roads that have stalled, roads that don't get maintained in our counties, we must interrogate the budgets that our governors are having on these roads. Because you find that they are spending bills like what you're seeing in Bomet now. They are spending bills on roads that were supposed to be maintained. Yet in every single financial year, Mr. Speaker, the same governors are budgeting for those roads, Mr. Speaker. If you look at the road budget in Migori County, Mr. Speaker, over $1 billion is being budgeted almost every year to do the same kind of roads that have got same pending bills that contractors have not been paid, Mr. Speaker. So there's a circus that the governors have decided to do in the counties and make sure that they are minting money from pending bills, Mr. Speaker. So I want to urge, Mr. Speaker, that even as we are going to have this statement being looked at by my committee, let the House pay attention to the issue of pending bills and form a special audit framework that we can be able to go and confront the counties with. And the Speaker, I wish that the Finance and Budget Committee will be the committee charged with this. And I also wish that they will start with the rot in Migori County, where I come from. Because every single time when I raise this issue about Migori County, we even raise them with EACC. In the committee that Senator Cherargei and Senator Kajwang sit, PAC, and in the committee where I sit, CPIC, Mr. Speaker, we write reports to EACC every single time about Migori County and about pending bills in Migori County that are not being paid, Mr. Speaker. And when we write those reports and letters, because EACC sits in those committees that we sit in, there is one Mr. Kinoti who sits there, and I give him complaints every single time about Migori County. When they get to EACC, the governor finds his way of cleaning the request that we send to EACC. So because EACC has failed us, they are not confronting our governors. They are not confronting the governor of Migori County. Mr. Speaker, I want to request that now let's confront the governors directly with the committees of this House, doing direct special audit on this kind of pending bills and on this kind of stealing from the people by, taking 10%, 20% out of those pending bills, Mr. Speaker. So I support, but I request, Mr. Speaker, that it becomes a larger house of a larger part of the House. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kuchangia mjadala ama statement ya Senator Wambua kutoka Kitui na Senator Mofaya kutoka Tharaka Nithi kuhusu mambo ya kilimo. Bwana Spika, mambo ya kilimo katika Embu County, Kitui, Meru, Tharaka na kona zile zingine imekuwa kipaumbele.
And members note that this is not a debate but just a few comments on the
comment, Bwana Spika.
Don't take 20 minutes to give the comments.
Okay. Bwana Spika, naunga statement zao mkono kwa sababu alikuwa anazungumzia mambo ya kilimo ya dengu, mahindi na maharagwe. Kulingana na vile Bwana Spika, unakuta kilimo aendelee njia ile inafaa. Unakuta mkulima Bwana Spika ndio anafanya kazi kubwa, mambo ya manyua, mambo ya fertilizer na pia mambo ya mbegu na pia kupalilia, lakini unakuta mkulima anapata shinda wakati wa mafuno. Kuna watu wengi wanatembea kwa parapara, wamekuwa mateberi, wanalete watu wakunua na bei ya chini. Bwana Spika, ningeomba kamati ya agriculture ikikaa chini weze kuangalia vile mkulima ataweza kusaidiwa, kwa sababu nakumbuka Bwana Spika, mwaka jana tulikuwa tumesema mambo ya ndengu vile itakuwa variation, lakini bwana spika ilete shinda na parliament watu wengine matapeli wakakutana wakasema vile tulipitisha ati ukiwa unataka barua ya kilimo unafaa ulipe pesa fulani. Bwana spika, ningeomba kuona vile kilimo ya maharagwe, mahindi na ndengu vile itasaidia mkulima. Bwana spika, pia naunga mkono mambo ya statement ya Senator Sigei kuhusu mambo ya county. Bwana spika, kuhusu vile pesa contractors wameteseka. Bwana spika, contractor wamepata shinda, wengine wamevirishika, wengine wamekufa, wengine hata kuweza kusaidia familia imekuwa na shinda. Kwa hivyo ningeomba tukirundi, Bwana spika, ile pesa tumeongezea bilioni 13, magavana wote katika Kenya kaunti 47 waweze kukalishwa chini, ndio pending bill ile pesa iweze zingine kusaidia ndio mambo ya wale conductors wengine. Kwa hivyo Bwana spika, nikiwa senator wa Embu County, hata Embu kuko na shinda kama hiyo, naunga mkono hiyo statement ya Senator Sigei. Asante sana Bwana spika.
Senator Okoitio Mtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for the opportunity to comment on these statements. And I'm particularly concerned about the issue of pending bills. Mr. Speaker, sir, currently as matters stand, counties are owing close to 200 billion shillings in terms of what I call pending bills. And when you look at it, Mr. Speaker, sir, there has been no attempt to segregate these so-called pending bills that technically under Kenyan law cannot exist, and to segregate them, to separate between recurrent pending bills of recurrent expenditure and pending bills of development expenditure. The name pending bills, I don't know where it came from. I think it's the accountants who created it. And Mr. Speaker, I want to warn and draw attention. Recently, due to the influence by accountants who have been trained to audit private companies, we have forced this country to begin auditing our books as if we are a private company. They have introduced something called accrual accounting, which is going to mask this massive theft of public resources in the name of pending bills. Mr. Speaker, sir, we spent our budget we spent on Appropriation Act. The Appropriation Act is a law that must be obeyed. There is a County Appropriation Act. You have the National Appropriation Act. These are laws with penalties if they are disobeyed. And where there is inability to pay in 1 year, there's room for supplementary budgeting in case something happened that was not planned for. You have seen many counties come and claim that they had own source revenue or stuff like that. They were unable to meet. That's why the pending bills came about. But the truth of the matter is, you and me, Mr. Speaker, know that they go and void procurements in the IFMIS system, and then...
Order, senators, order.
And then, Mr. Speaker, sir, once they avoided this genuine procurement that have been authorized by the control of budget, they go in and use that money to do other things that were not approved. And then that genuine procurement remains like a bill that has not been paid. And it's really unfortunate that the control of budget, Mr. Speaker, sir, has no capacity to intervene because they don't have access, even read-only access, to the IFMIS. So Treasury colludes with governors and those people who are running these things to void genuine procurements, keep them in abeyance, and since the money has been released, they use that money to pay for bills that were not approved. Before you go ahead and say we are going to pay to pick up this debt, and first of all, I would like to differ with the majority leader. It's not all pending bills are public debt. Public debt is defined in Article 214 of the Constitution, and it's very clear. It must have something that has been spent on capital expenditure and such kind of things. Recurrent expenditure cannot generate public debt. Mr. Speaker, sir, when you look at some of them, people provided transport services, people gave accommodation services, hotel services, and things like those. They cannot be paying bills. There cannot be a public debt. So we need to go back to the basics, Mr. Speaker. And before we begin even bemoaning the numbers and we know the effects of the genuine procuring officer, let us hold each governor and each finance officer accountable for each pending bill in this country. It's not beyond us to do that. We have got the EACC, we have got the economy, put their minds together. We should be able to nail the culprit and stop facilitating. The law is very clear, Mr. Speaker. You can't go and incur expenditure if you don't have money to pay for it. Those who did that should be held to account, Mr. Speaker, sir, so that we clean up this thing by going after the culprits first. Then if there's any genuine case that remains, we then pay. And if the state chooses to pay, we must punish those officers who misused public funds contrary to the law, and that, Mr. Speaker, is provided for in Article 226, Clause 5. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Samson Chalge.
Mr. Speaker, let me just make a brief comment on the lynching of 3 young men in Machakos County, Mr. Speaker. This is a serious break of law in the country, Mr. Speaker. My condolences to these 3 young men, Kennedy Katu, Stanley Matungo, and Charles Mutiso, that were lynched, Mr. Speaker. The circumstances we must investigate. We have seen situation, Mr. Speaker, and I want to call upon the committee to investigate further. Mr. Speaker, this points to be a clear break of law and order, because by the time ordinary people or they do mob justice or they attack a Kenyan, Mr. Speaker, it is very unfair, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I want to appeal. We have seen most police extrajudicial killings. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy the Independent Policing Oversight Authority are doing their job, but we need a comprehensive look into this abuse of the law. Mr. Speaker, you remember even the Kianjangoma brothers in Embu. No one has told us what really happened. We are following the Rex Masai case, Mr. Speaker. We are following a number of police station people who have been killed in police custody. This lynching, Mr. Speaker, shows that there is break of law and order. Mr. Speaker, it pains me as I conclude that we saw an attack of a church of All Saints Cathedral here in Nairobi by goons. Mr. Speaker, this is the act of goons where people take the law into their own hands. We have seen, and I want to condemn the attack of ACK Cathedral, All Saints here in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. No one has also told us what happened in IPCA Kennel Church in 4th October 2022, when the church was attacked in Kennel here in Muranga, Mr. Speaker. It's very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. There is an aspect, we saw our brother, Senator Godfrey Ososi. He was attacked after you and cry, few individuals were arrested. No one has told us what really happened, Mr. Speaker. The issue of goons is becoming a serious issue, Mr. Speaker, because I suspect these young men were being just killed and lynched by goons, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even the MCA of Wazingishu, MCA Edwin Misoi, Mr. Speaker, was attacked by goons. He was left for the dead. He has stayed in ICU. So he is here to regain his faculties. But the goons cannot be arrested because they are being controlled by a senior politician who is a close ally of CS Interior. Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate in this country, Mr. Speaker. We wish MCA Honorable Misoi all the best and full recovery, but the people must be arrested. That's how you stop mob lynching, Mr. Speaker. Because when Kenyans realize that the goons will take advantage to lynch you even in public, Mr. Speaker. Even you saw an MCA by the name called Wycliffe Siocha, famously known as Mbade, was attacked in Kisik, Mr. Speaker, an MCA, because of break of law and order, because of this lynching that we are seeing in public, goons attack in public, Mr. Speaker. I want to call upon the Inspector General of Police. Let us not allow this country to go the Haiti way, where the people take the law into their own hands and lynch people in public, attack people in public. The Inspector General of Police, I saw him speaking to media the other day about the attack at ACK, All Saints Cathedral here in Nairobi. These goons, these people who lynch people in public, and I want to appeal to Kenyans through you, Mr. Speaker, that if you find anybody breaking the law, let the police arrest them, let them be taken to court, even including your former governor, where they were mimicking you. That's how lynching starts. They were lynching your character, Mr. Speaker, where they brought a person who looks like you, dressed like you with kakofia, and give them a gunia, and demonstrate the former governor. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, we were right by impeaching her. If she comes again, we'll impeach her again, because she will never get any seat. Even if he goes to court and the court says he comes back today, I can assure you that is also lynching your character. Such a person should not be given a chance to be a leader in this country, Mr. Speaker. With those many remarks, I hope the Committee of National Security will look, including the lynching of character of the Speaker of the Senate, Deputy Speaker of the Senate, Kakofia, Senator Katuri Murungi, the Chairman of Njurinjeke. Mr. Speaker, I yield back.
Do you need another extra minute also? Senator Mandago?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise in support the statement sought by the Senator for Bomet, Senator Wakili Hilary Sigei, on the matter concerning non-payment for services rendered to contractors in Bomet, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the matter of pending bills is becoming a serious and grave matter in our counties, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the pending bills that are being created and the actual bills that are not being paid, Honorable Speaker, is a product of county governments working together with the controller of budget, Honorable Speaker, and creating a situation where bills are piling, not being paid, while counties continue to spend the money and budget for pending bills. Honorable Speaker, I say this because the controller of budget approves all payments for all services and goods procured in counties. But, Honorable Speaker, there is no follow-up to ensure the ward fund, Honorable Speaker. They have all been stagnated, they are not being procured. Now, the new excuse in town, Honorable Speaker, is that the EGP is not working. We want to let the people of Kenya know, and the people of Uasin Gishu know, that EGP is working. It's only that the money is now being used to pay fictitious pending bills, Honorable Speaker, including the snack park, whose contract has already been paid, but there is no snack park that has been constructed in the county, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we are calling on the controller of budget end up paying the suppliers whose payments have been approved, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we are not going to continue to allow counties to process payments all the way to internet banking, get the approval from the controller of budget, receive the money, then reroute the money to contractor suppliers whose payments have not been approved, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, the Committee of Finance should actually investigate all county governments on the abuse of the process of payment by falsely requisitioning money for suppliers and paying suppliers whose payments have not been approved, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we must let the governor of Bomet know that by creating pending bills and failing to pay contractors, they are also destroying livelihoods, they are also destroying employment opportunities, and they are also causing financial distress to the directors of those companies, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, it must not be lost on the county governments that all business people who do business not necessarily rely on their own capital, Honorable Speaker. Some of these business people borrow money from banks, interests are accruing, they are being sold and auctioned, Honorable Speaker, while county governments sit pretty while seeing their own citizens suffering, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we want to urge counties to pay all genuine pending bills. And Honorable Speaker, and I agree with Senator Okia Omtata of Busia, that there should never be a pending bill for recurrent expenditure, Honorable Speaker. Once a financial year ends, the recurrent expenditure lapses, there should be no reason for anybody to spend beyond what has been budgeted for recurrent, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on capital projects, we also want to ask the controller of budget that projects that are ongoing, the controller of budget should never approve supplementary budgets that remove money
from ongoing projects, Honorable Speaker. The statement sought by Senator Hilary Sigei and say all genuine contractors and suppliers in all our county governments, Honorable Speaker, including national government, Honorable Speaker, must be paid on time.
Last but not the least, Senator Mutinda, use your 2-3 minutes, kindly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Allow me to quickly just comment on two statements. One for Senator Kavindu in regards to the killings of our young men in Machakos County. And Mr. Speaker, the issues pertaining sudden deaths, sudden mob justice, sudden attacks, Mr. Speaker, have been sort of like the order of the day. I would want to really challenge the security operators to move in with speed. Apart from speed, we need to really see the culprits behind bars. And at the same time, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to mention something very quickly in regards to what happened to All Saints Cathedral on Friday. I happened to be having a very big meeting of church leaders and pastors, and luckily, as I always do my meetings within the city, I always seek security from the nearest operators depending on the jurisdiction of that area. And having liaised with the OCPD Kilimani, they had sent me enough police as the event was ongoing. And it is those police, Mr. Speaker, actually, who are able to assist when the goons arrived at All Saints Cathedral, where I was doing a prayer, breakfast morning, when the pastors were praying for me for my ambition for 2027 as the woman rep for this county. And Mr. Speaker, I wanted to state something as far as goonism is concerned in this country. Goonism that is there today, Mr. Speaker, needs to be addressed differently. It's sort of, these are sort of young men who have formed companies that if services are needed, then they are rendered at a cost. The more these goons are mushrooming, it will be very difficult in future to cut them off, Mr. Speaker. And mostly us as politicians, across board, it doesn't matter which side you belong, they are always there asking for these services or wanting to render services, which in the future will affect all of us. So it's the high time that the security operators move with speed and be able to ensure that these groups are put to a stop. Quickly, as I touch on the issues of pending bill, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to ask you, Mr. Speaker, if this statement from Senator Hilary Sigei should be rightfully at the Committee of Transport, Roads and Transport, because the issues of pending bills are normally addressed by the Committee of Finance and Budget. And so I'm just curious, in your directions, as you'll be giving directions, if this statement is placed in the right committee. And why, Mr. Speaker? The matter of pending bills is a matter that, yes, we've really discussed in this House. We've also discussed it in our Committee of Finance and Budget. Mr. Speaker, when we fought in the mediation to increase the 13 billion to all counties, Mr. Speaker, one of the key main reasons was so that the county governments can be able now to come to close as far as the issue of pending bills is concerned, Mr. Speaker. And so I would request if you redirect that this matter is addressed by the Finance and Budget Committee. Mr. Speaker, allow me as I conclude to talk about the bill that I tabled last week. That is the County Additional Allocation Bill in regards to the 8.6 billion for our UHC workers, Mr. Speaker. And I speak it because it's irrelevant as far as pending bills are concerned. There have been pending arrears for salaries and wages for our UHC workers across the country, across all the 47 counties. And luckily, I sit in the Health Committee and also in the Finance Committee, where this matter has been brought in two committees that I actually serve diligently. and have been able to champion and to ensure that at least the 8.6 billion is now given to the county so that they can be able to settle the quagmire of our UHC workers. I speak like that because today they were still demonstrating. And the question is, they are asking, when will we be permanent and pensionable? And Mr. Speaker, this 8.6 is supposed to take care of their salaries for this financial year and any arrears that have been there, so that it brings this matter to closure. And that is why that 8.6, we directed that it be put at SIGA, County Additional Allocation, Mr. Speaker. It is in that regard I've seen one of the governors, none other than Governor Baraza of Kakamega County, coming on air, on a Baraza, and really discouraging the UHC workers by telling them, you know what, this money has not been put in DORA, so we cannot be able to employ you permanent and pensionable. It was put in SIGA. And you see, the governors wanted this money to go to DORA so that they can have the freedom to be able to utilize these funds the way they want. But the reason we insisted as a committee that these funds go to the county, the additional allocation, is so that they can fully address the issues of our UHC workers. So, Mr. Speaker, we are trying as a committee to ensure that counties get additional monies to be able to sort any pending issues, be it current expenditures for salaries like this ones for UHC workers. And it is a high time, Mr. Speaker, that the governors pronounce and stop stressing our UHC workers. It is painful. Again, they are here trying to demand that they be given their PNP contracts. They have suffered. They have worked since the COVID time, offering services to our people. So, governors, next year, the 8.6 or the actual amount that will be needed will be in DORA or can be in SIGA. What is important is that can you kindly give the UHC workers in this country their valid contract moving forward so that the depression and the stress that they have can come to an end. With those many few, I support, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, very well. Now, honorable senators, you remember we dispensed of under number 8, business appearing as under number 8. Now we go to under number 9, clerk.
Order number 9, the Community Health Promoters Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2022, second reading. Resumption of debate interrupted on Thursday, 11th June 2026. Mover to reply.
Majority Leader, if you are in there, you proceed and reply.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this chance. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank colleague senators who took time to speak to this bill. This is one of those very, very important bills which, if we leave this House, and I'm beginning to speak like this, Mr. Speaker, because I have seen 2 other previous ends to a term of Senate, and I know they can be very quick and fast, Mr. Speaker. It gets to July like this, and raising the requisite number to pass and transact business in the House becomes a bit difficult. Therefore, Senator Eddy should take maximum advantage of the little time that we still have left. If there is any signature legislation that you feel needs to be part and parcel of your resume as a legislator for this term, Mr. Speaker. I'm speaking about the Community Health Promoters Bill, Mr. Speaker, because, like I said in my moving notes, this is a representation of the work of, Mr. Speaker, more than 100,000 Kenyans who attend to millions of the rest of the country, despite the fact that they are not medics, Mr. Speaker. They have very little to sometimes barely formal training in the things that they do, Mr. Speaker. But because we have accepted their place and we have structured their standing in the national ecosystem of the health culture in this republic, Mr. Speaker, we cannot wish away their presence. We were informed earlier, Mr. Speaker, that while we may discuss and talk about wage bill and all these things, Mr. Speaker, important as it is, not wage bill, minimum wage, Mr. Speaker, the stipend that they get goes a long way to sustain and keep some of them in the work that they do, Mr. Speaker. Of course, in the proper African culture, Mr. Speaker, when somebody has attended to you, Mr. Speaker, and some of them we know they attend to different people, Mr. Speaker, there is what is culturally right to do, and I know a lot more other things happen within that line, and people know that there's a CHP from such and such family in this locality. At least there's somebody who has a clue about health matters, Mr. Speaker, within the country. Mr. Speaker, you know people underestimate the value of preventive medical practices in the overall bill of a nation's health being, Mr. Speaker. Teaching people about healthy practices, healthy eating, Mr. Speaker, on their nutrition and so on, and how to manage some of their lifetime illnesses and things like that, Mr. Speaker. Things which the community health promoters can do with so much ease, because as they interact, as they train, as they work around with the other more senior and more qualified medical practitioners, Mr. Speaker, they learn this thing, and they bring indigenous knowledge from their areas of operation, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, these are very, very important Kenyans. It is my hope, Mr. Speaker, that upon the passage of this bill, we shall be able to conclude and see the intention of the bill through, which is to set up this council that looks after them. I'm not particularly sure, Mr. Speaker, where we have placed it is the right place, given that these are people that are majorly placed in counties, Mr. Speaker, and they interact, though we pay them a stipend from both national and county government, something that I have many times without number said is not neat, Mr. Speaker, in the management of public finance, Mr. Speaker, and those are things that we'll correct as we move on during our stint, Mr. Speaker, should that opportunity be availed, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I want to pause it at that. I know we have said all that we need to say on this very sticky topic. Mr. Speaker, it just breaks my heart that of all the demonstrations that come outside the door of the Senate, it is mostly to do with healthcare workers. I had hoped, maybe there's still time, Senator Eddy, that we're going to do something about by way of transferring staff and personnel, but even by standardizing legislation on practices of things to do such as remuneration, Mr. Speaker, promotion, leave days, and all welfare issues, Mr. Speaker. It should trouble our conscience, Mr. Speaker, as a house that is charged to look after the interest of devolution, that for almost of the health sector, it tells you there's something that we haven't gotten right as a house. I can't see Senator Mandago, the chairperson of health, but I believe there's still sufficient time to think through. I had previously asked if we could draft something of a similar nature, and there was something that was being considered, though time now is visibly running out, Mr. Speaker, on us. But there's still much that we can do in between that.
21, the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bills number 34 of 2025, second reading.
As I can see, the bill is under the majority leader. Who is moving the bill? Senator Andy Okech. Chair, loans, transportation. What else? Housing and public works. And housing. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 148.1 of the Senate Standing Orders, I beg to move that the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill number 3 of 2025, National Assembly Bills number 34 of 2025, be now read a second time. And Mr. Speaker, you know, the way you ushered me in, coming to move this particular bill, I must say that it's one of the bills that I'm very, very proud of having worked on, because it's a bill about RMLF. It touches on road maintenance, issue that has been a problem in the psyche of the Senate for the longest time possible. So that from the onset, I want to thank the members of my committee, the Standing Committee on Roads, Transport and Housing, for their commitment and their involvement in the public participation process that has informed a lot of the ideas I'm going to share with you in this bill. And Mr. Speaker, I sincerely also want to thank your office, because this has been the most contentious bill that has also shown the dichotomy between the Senate and the National Assembly, to the extent that we have always battled out the issue of equitable sharing of resources in some of the levies that cut across. And your office has been very supportive in handling this bill in a way that has been difficult in the psyche of the House and the lower house of the National Assembly. And in the same measure, Mr. Speaker, the office of the clerk has been very, very fundamental in terms of just helping us with a number of wonderful secretariat members who have helped us to, unearth some of the concepts that have really informed us in terms of making sure that we brought something concrete to the House, even as we engage stakeholders and the members of public who also participated in the scrutiny of the bill. I also want to thank all the members of the public who appeared in my committee to help us think and rethink this bill. Mr. Speaker, perhaps for the understanding of the House, the principal object of this bill is to align the road sector through a legal framework with the Constitution 2010 by providing a clear classification of roads, defining the responsibility of county governments in the management of our roads, which has been a very hazy thing. Even now, you've seen the statement that has just been handed over to my committee by Senator Hilary Sigei. There is still haziness in terms of the management of our roads and the responsibility of the counties with regards to this particular responsibility. And therefore, there is always the need of reviewing the framework for allocation, because one of the things we have fought as a House is the idea that responsibilities are given to counties, functions are given to counties, yet resources don't follow them. That is not dissimilar to the case of roads, where the issue of roads, you find that there is indeed some responsibility in the management, whether be it maintenance, construction, rehabilitation of these roads, but the counties don't have a resource allocation mechanism. And this has been because the road maintenance levy fund has not been alive in the counties. And Mr. Speaker, before I take the House through the specific provisions of the bill, allow me to briefly provide the background that has brought us to where we are right now, because this context is particularly important to inform why some of the proposed amendments and the underscore that need strengthening in terms of the governance and the maintenance of this road and the financing in the roads infrastructure in Kenya has been very crucial in this conversation. Majority leader just said that it is important that we pass a number of bills to National Assembly, but they don't get to be considered as fast as we give the attention to this to theirs in this House. I personally, majority leader, have passed 3 bills that have gone to that House that have not been able to be moved accordingly and even be passed or considered and be passed in those houses majority. But you see, Mr. Speaker, this bill originated from the National Assembly and is the only bill that I would ask the entire House to be able to focus on and pass as fast as possible, because the road infrastructure remains one of the most critical enablers of socioeconomic development in our country, as you all know. Perhaps if I can give you some figures, the road transport is a dominant mode of transport in our country, to the extent that approximately 93% of all freights in the country and all passenger transports are dependent on road, Mr. Speaker. The country's road networks, however, has had a problem of bias when you look at how national government maintains or constructs or revamps roads, Mr. Speaker. Because we have got a network of about 162,600 kilometers of roads in our borders, Mr. Speaker. And out of this, the national government only manages 45,000, became about to be managed by Kera, Kura, Kenha, was a framework that was put before 2010 Constitution. So that, Mr. Speaker, while the Constitution assigns national trunk roads to the national government and county roads to the county government, the existing legal infrastructure and framework that would dictate responsibility and then dictate follow-ups on those responsibilities, and more importantly, dictate resources that goes to that responsibility, do not align at all with what you would see in the Constitution 2010. So that, Mr. Speaker, the distribution of those functions between national and county governments, Mr. Speaker, it is on one hand responsibility either to one of them, but on the other hand, the other one enjoys the resources to actually maintain their side of the bargain and holds the entire pass, Mr. Speaker. Consequently, Mr. Speaker, the existing statutory framework has resulted in institutional and functional misalignments relating to road classification also, because the assignment of responsibilities and the allocation of road maintenance resources between national and county governments must follow a certain kind of classification. But if you don't have the money to maintain those roads, but you're given the responsibility to maintain them, the classification of them also becomes a problem, Mr. Speaker. So that while the county governments are constitutionally responsible for the larger share, as I've indicated here, Mr. Speaker, of these road networks, resources have continued to be administered predominantly by the national government. And this has been happening through the known agencies. If you are to take a reflective look into how our roads have been maintained, you would probably argue that Kenya has been maintaining what would go with national trunk roads. But specifically, Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA, and Kenya Urban Rural Authorities, what they have been maintaining with the power given to them by national government have actually been what should be resources given to counties to maintain them. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, the current framework lacks a clear mechanism for the direct allocation of the road maintenance levy. This has been the key context, between national government and county government, Mr. Speaker. So that under the proposed bill, you could even see that when the National Assembly developed this bill, they still had the audacity to say that they were only allocating 5% of the RMLF to counties, Mr. Speaker. 5% to counties to maintain 117,668 kilometers worth of roads, Mr. Speaker. This disparity, Mr. Speaker, between constitutional responsibility and allocation of resources underscores the need for a proper legislative framework that we must participate in right now, Mr. Speaker, and make sure that we guide the nation on this. And Mr. Speaker, the issue that I'm raising here is not just an issue of the misalignment between the Constitution and what the county have experienced. Mr. Speaker, it should be noted that there has been a court responsibility that was heaped on the two houses. In 2003 and in 2004, the National Assembly, when they were doing the allocation of RMLF, Mr. Speaker, they totally excluded the county governments from RMLF allocations. And I got into this house, Mr. Speaker, remember, when I was very passionate about this issue, majority leader really helped to fight so that we were able to get some money from RMLF to go to counties, but the National Assembly did not care. They simply gave all that money to national government. And because of that, Mr. Speaker...
Did you say 2003?
I said 2023 and 2024. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. I meant 2023, 2024, for the record. Mr. Speaker, because of that problem of misallocation, Mr. Speaker, the Council of Governors and other parties went to court through the petition number E004 of 2023, and the Council of Governors and 47 county governments were basically petitioning the court to give us an interpretation against the National Assembly and others being, the administrators of this fund, which actually is the Kenya Roads Board, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, when they moved to court, they went to question what we're trying to cure through this bill, and I want the Senate to understand. They were questioning the constitutionality of the Kenya Roads Board Act. That was KRB Act, and they're also questioning the Kenya Roads Authority Act, KRA Act, Mr. Speaker. And because they were questioning various tenets of the administration and allocation of these funds, the courts did declare Section 6 of the KRB Act and Section 47 of the KRA Act unconstitutional. And I'll show you why they were unconstitutional as I take you through this bill, Mr. Speaker. So the petitioners, however, appealed. That is the National Assembly. They appealed and sought conservatory orders. But when the court gave them those orders, Mr. Speaker, the court indicated that within 12 months, we as a parliament, that is National Assembly and the Senate, must be able to put a legal framework to sort out this issue for once and for all. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, the reason why I thought that this is important to move this bill today is because if you look at the time that the decision was made, that was July, 27th of July, 2025. It means that if you are a house that honors the courts, this bill must be processed by both, will also enable us to actually abide by the courts, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, very quickly, because I don't want to be drunk in my own party, Mr. Speaker, allow me to briefly just highlight to you the provision of the bill, and then I will call perhaps the majority leader to second when I finish this, Mr. Speaker. And I'll just go to the critical clauses that are important to us, Mr. Speaker. Clause 2 of the bill amends Section 2 of the Kenya Roads Act by introducing the terms national trunk roads and the county roads. This is something that has been lacking because all roads have been assumed just to be taken care of by national government, despite the fact that counties end up maintaining them. These amendments, therefore, Mr. Speaker, establishes a clear distinction between roads falling under the mandate of the national government and those roads that fall under the mandate of the county government. Then clause 3, Mr. Speaker, provides for the classification of public roads and requires that all roads be classified in accordance with first schedule of this particular act, Mr. Speaker. Where a new public road, for instance, has been established, the responsibility of the county government, Mr. Speaker, is put in this bill to submit to the relevant cabinet secretary, who will be the cabinet secretary for transport, roads, and housing in the current order, so that this clause gives clarity in terms of periodic review of road classifications to ensure that they actually do reflect the functions served by the respective levels of government, Mr. Speaker. Then, Mr. Speaker, the one that is very close to my heart is clause 4 of this bill, which introduces new sections 47A and 47B into this particular. 47A sets out the functions of county government with respect to roads under their jurisdiction, which would include very well prescribed responsibility, starting from development to rehabilitation to maintenance of those roads, Mr. Speaker, management of the road reserves, Mr. Speaker, implementing of road policies, which has actually been wavy in counties, oversighting of traffic, Mr. Speaker, is very critical, and road safety. Because we have seen a number of times when we have serious accidents happening in Kericho, in Migori, in other places, Mr. Speaker, there is nobody who takes action immediately. Because the national government will say the county government is responsible for that traffic and road safety, and the national government, and then the county government will say that belongs to the government, to the national government. A case in example, Mr. Speaker, as I'm speaking to you right now, Mr. Speaker, since the long rains happened in March, a critical road that connects our borders, Tanzania and Kenya, but perhaps you might even argue that Migori County, the Sirare border, Sirare-Isibania border, is probably the third most important border in the country. If you leave Mariakani, and then if you leave Malaba border. Mr. Speaker, we had the main bridge affected by the rains, and it cut the two sections of the side of Migori County, so that people cannot be able to access the other side of the border, Mr. Speaker. Can you imagine up to date, that road has not been fixed? There are no signages in that road in Migori County, Mr. Speaker. Accidents are happening there every single time because there are no signages. County government is saying they can't put proper signages on that road because it's not their responsibility. Kenya also has not put signages there because it's saying this was a disaster issue that the county government should be able to take care of the signages, Mr. Speaker. So we are losing lives, we are losing businesses because there's nobody who takes the oversight role on traffic and safety on that road. And then, Mr. Speaker, there is also the enforcement of axle load requirements. This would mean collection of data on our road, provide clarity in the assignment of responsibility for their management, maintenance, and development, Mr. Speaker. I'll go also to Clause 6, and Clause 6, Mr. Speaker, of the bill amend Section 6 of the Kenya Roads Board Act by reviewing the manner in which the road maintenance levy is apportioned among the road sector institutions, Mr. Speaker. This is one of the most critical parts, Mr. Speaker, because what happens in the Kenya Roads Board under this section is that the Kenya Roads Board does not only get money from RMLF, it gets money from other appropriations as well, Mr. Speaker, from National Assembly. So when all money goes to Kenya Roads Board, Mr. Speaker, what happens? Kenya Roads Board says they will only give 50% of the money that they have in that account to all the agencies that are maintaining roads, and then maintain 50% of that money as an instrument for debt, which is how the 7 shillings was securitized by Kenya Roads Board, Mr. Speaker. But when you do that, the entire money that is remaining for debt infrastructure does not end up reaching county. And even when you securitize and get debt to maintain roads and do other roads from that road bond, it doesn't go to county either, Mr. Speaker. So it's extremely critical that this section be amended as we have proposed here, Mr. Speaker. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, because of time, and I wanted the majority to get time to also be able to chime in, Mr. Speaker, is that for ease of comparison, Mr. Speaker, on what different stakeholders have been able to talk about, I talked about how different stakeholders did propose that we share the money in RMLF, and had indicated the National Assembly had indicated that we should only get 5%. We have come here with a number of formulas that I hope that you will see in the bill that will inform a new number that we are proposing as a House and as a committee, and we hope that the House will propose that would be what is the county should be entitled to. So if you look at the table that we have shared, Mr. Speaker, under that Clause 6, you will see a comparison between what the county government, the National Assembly had proposed, and then you'll see what KRA had proposed, and then what the ministry had proposed, then our own rationale, after consulting with COG, and coming with our own math, and then coming with committees' proposed number on how we should be able to share. And very quickly, Mr. Speaker, I'll just go through this, and then I'll conclude. KERA, which apparently calls themselves constituency roads, as if constituencies don't exist in counties, had proposed under the current act that 22% be the money that is allocated for KERA. And then in the amendment, there was a proposal of 25%, and the CRA had endorsed that 25%. We think that, as a committee, we also equally agree with the same. Then there is the KERA link roads, which the Mother Act had proposed the current act as 10%. The amended bill by the National Assembly had reduced it to 7%, and CRA had endorsed that. We also think that it makes sense that our link roads also get the 7%. And then we have got the issue of Kenya, which the Mother Act gives for 40%. The National Assembly in the amended bill had proposed 38%, while the CRA had proposed 36%. But we think that on our formula base that we have indicated in the bill, and you can go through the bill, we think that we should maintain it at 38%. Then there's Kura, the urban roads in our counties, Mr. Speaker. The Mother Act currently allocates about 15%. And, you know, the CRA had put 14%, I mean 10%. The amended had put 14%. When we did the formula, we think that we should split this, because this is where the most of the county roads are. We cannot give all this amount of money to Kura. We think that we give 10% to counties and then 4% to national government. And then there is the KWS roads that are maintained in our parks. We have given it 1%. Then there's departments responsible for roads, disaster, and equalization. We have given, because disaster issues and road maintenance issues during disaster is both a national function and a county function, we have given both of them 4%. Then there's recurrent expenses that KRB does face. They had proposed 1%, 1.5%. We think that counties should get 3% and KRB be given 2%. And then we have got the functions under the Constitution for standards and classification. We think this one highly only affects counties, and therefore we have given it 2%. And then we have proposed that KRB as a board, because they will still be administrating this, be given 0.5 for that administration. So, Mr. Speaker, if you look at what we are proposing as the share for counties in total RMLF allocations, we are proposing as a committee that counties get 49% and national government gets 51%. This is the crux of the matter, Mr. Speaker. With this, Mr. Speaker, the committee will propose to seek enhancement of county allocation from that 5% that the National Assembly had proposed to 49%. And in particular, the committee recommends the transfer of 32% allocation currently assigned to constituency roads and link roads to counties, Mr. Speaker. That is the essence of the bill. And then lastly, Mr. Speaker, because of time, I want to categorically indicate that because the monies for RMLF have been allocated mostly by KRB, the way it's happening right now is that RMLF collects the levy, make a proper distinction in terms of functions and the responsibility of how these funds work. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, that when we pass this particular bill, we will come back at the opportune time to be able to come up with formula, horizontal formula for the counties to be able to share this. With that, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill number 3, Bill number 3 of the Senate 2025, and National Assembly Bills number 34 of 2025 be now read a second time, and a call upon the Majority Leader, Senator Arun Cheriot, to second. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Eddie, the Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, which is the adjournment motion. So I don't know, Mr. Speaker, how you would, if you may permit, as per standing order number, I'm waiting for Innocent to help me because...
I get the direction you are headed, the Leader of Majority. What you do is proceed to second. Once you second and it becomes available for contribution by members, a member can now propose the motion to defer further debate on it so that we give room to the procedural motion.
I hear you, Speaker. My only problem is that if I begin, unless you want me to do a very quick seconding, to leave sufficient time
But yes,
for the motion.
the other one is a procedural motion. We can do this. How much time do you need to second this motion?
Maybe about 20 minutes.
20 is sufficient.
20 is sufficient.
The other one will be procedural motion.
I'll try.
So you
on
can
or
do
about-
20,
Yeah.
but let's deal with that when we get there.
Thank you, Speaker, for your guidance. Mr. Speaker, I am hereby to second this bill, the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of number 3. It's a National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2022, actually. As Senator Eddy has explained, Mr. Speaker, we are here because of the strength of our Constitution. If it was to be left to our colleagues in the National Assembly alone, Mr. Speaker, we never have gotten here. On many occasions, our colleagues have squabbled with the Council of Governors on this matter, back and forth, Mr. Speaker, until the courts, Mr. Speaker, asked if there are enough adults in Parliament, that we needed to do the adult thing. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this is the adult thing. The adult thing is to come up with legislation to ensure that we divide these monies from the from the RMLF, Road Maintenance Levy Fund, Mr. Speaker, equally between the county governments and the national government. Mr. Speaker, there were many Kenyans that were shocked the other day when I think it was the president tried to explain why fuel actually had certain elements of cost in the Kenyan pump price that don't exist in the magnitude that it does. And this is one of the items that features prominently. RMLF, Mr. Speaker, is generated by funds every time you fuel your vehicles, Mr. Speaker. And it was purposely designed to ensure, Mr. Speaker, that we maintain our roads. Because building road network is one thing, maintaining it is a different thing altogether. And you know that the disaster, for example, Mr. Speaker, that we are staring in various parts of our country, Mr. Speaker, including all of us from various regions, roads that were made during the Jubilee administration under a program that was called, I think, low volume. You, Mr. Speaker, you know very well, closer to your home, the road from Silibwet heading towards Kiptagich is one such example, and Chebole to Dikir, I think that's closer even to you than the one I mentioned earlier. Closer to myself, Mr. Speaker, I have the Brook Mylene Road, which is supposed to be tarmac, Mr. Speaker, but in the current state that they are in, the citizens would rather be that it was even in Maram state, Mr. Speaker, because it will easily be passable. This is all part of what the RMLF is supposed to do. And as we increase our road network, Mr. Speaker, I doubt if this cost element will disappear from the pump price. Because, Mr. Speaker, Kenya boasts of thousands upon thousands of kilometers of tarmac. And I think when the President appeared before the joint sessions of the Houses of Parliament last year, Mr. Speaker, while making the State of the Nation address, he mentioned of plans to actually expand that road network by a further, I think, 2,500 kilometers. And that, I don't know if it includes those that are being dual and made much broader, like the Mau Summit, Rironi Road. And therefore, this fund will be with us for a while if we want to maintain our roads in good state, Mr. Speaker. And you can understand this tussle that exists between county governments and national government on the need to share these funds, because money will never be enough, and there must be a pro rata basis upon which you share this. And from as early back as 2016, I can recall debates in this House, Mr. Speaker, more than 10 years ago, this debate about let's classify our roads, Mr. Speaker, and there have been previous attempts, but they never got to the level and the detail that this bill attempts to do. Because fortunately or unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, roads will always, there will always be new roads that emerge. And then the question arises, how frequently can you classify those roads? I'm sure many times, colleagues, you have been in public functions where members of the National Assembly and members of the County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, trade accusations. No, this is not my road. It belongs to the MP. No. This is a county road. And that kind of ugly spat that we have all witnessed in public. And on many questions, it leads to problems, because at the end of the day, it is the citizens that suffer, Mr. Speaker, when the roads are not repaired. And therefore, the demand and the need for us to do a total classification and therefore ensure that the resources then follow the size and the design of the road network that needs to be maintained, Mr. Speaker, is a very considerate approach to this particular issue. Make no mistake, though, that this will bring an end the issue of poor road network in our republic, Mr. Speaker. It's not possible, because like I've explained, we shall be building new roads every other now and then. And there is need, Mr. Speaker, to agree and find a way through which, even after the classification, we give them what will be prioritization. While the national government will easily settle this, because the National Assembly will do the budgeting and the allocation through the road agencies, Mr. Speaker, the challenge then will come, Mr. Speaker, from actually the county level, because there'll be need to agree, Mr. Speaker, at the county level on how to use these funds. And I have two problems, Senator Eddy, which your committee, I hope, will eventually have to address. I'll remind you, Senator Eddy, when we did the sugar bill in 2024, you remember the controversial debate when we were doing stakeholder engagement from farmers, where there was the debate on where to locate the cess. Remember, there's cess money that you're collecting, the levy, the sugar levy, and we set aside some percentage for maintenance of roads that leads to farms and factories within the fields, Mr. Speaker. And in all that agreed that between the county and the national government, where should we locate that fund? There is none that propose the county governments. That troubles me as a legislator, as a leader, as a senator, and more importantly, Mr. Speaker, as somebody who cares for devolution. Because it tells you that there is something the citizens are speaking to. There's a lack of confidence in the ability of counties, Mr. Speaker, to actually utilize these resources effectively, Mr. Speaker, for the benefit of ordinary citizens. Mr. Speaker, the troubling thing will be a situation where once these funds have been dispensed to the counties, it all becomes just a procurement game, and people do shoddy things, Mr. Speaker, with the sole intent of just being paid monies and disappearing with it, and no purpose for it. Mr. Speaker, that is a concern which we must be able to address. Otherwise, citizens will blame this House for pushing so hard for these resources to a certain procedures for ensuring that this road named point A to point B, then subsequently point B to point A, yet it's the same road and there is payment for the same particular road, though on two occasions. Then there is also the retainer for maintenance, Mr. Speaker, and the certificate. Sometimes there is lack of proper recording of these resources. Therefore, how counties need to convince us, and I don't know the memorandum that Council of Governors sent on this particular bill, Mr. Speaker, that despite the classification, that alone is not enough. There is need to properly name our roads in counties, Mr. Speaker, so that proper records can be kept. That this road is called road this, it starts from this particular point, it goes through this particular location up to the end. So that there is a history of that particular road that is kept in the government records, Mr. Speaker, that counties maintain proper records, so that at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, when you do an audit, you're able to see after 2, 3, 4, 5 years what that money has done, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, this money will just be messed around by people buying truckloads of maram pouring it, Mr. Speaker, having a roll around over it, and that is called that a road has been made. That is not proper use of this particular resource, Mr. Speaker. It's like what also this agency called KERA sometimes does under some shadowy dealings with our colleagues of the National Assembly, called the 22%, Mr. Speaker, where members of National Assembly supposedly make maram roads, Mr. Speaker. The country doesn't get value for money, and everybody who's honest knows that particular, that many times our colleagues from the National Assembly, they just dish it to their cronies, and they agree that you don't even have to make the road, just come and run around briefly, and you get the payment. The administration of this fund hasn't been as rosy in the National Assembly. It's only that citizens don't know as much as they do about counties, Mr. Speaker, and the scrutiny is not to the level that it is done with particularly counties. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, that's one of the concerns that I have. There will also be a challenge, Senator Eddie, to do with policies. You know, the National Assembly, the national government rather, has not been able to sort this particular issue of axle load on our roads. And there are many roads. Part of the reason why these low volume roads failed, Mr. Speaker, is that while the intention was good, that they'd be used by low weight vehicles just carrying passengers and things of the sort, the roads were left open. There's no system of monitoring to ensure that heavy trucks from quarries and carrying different equipment, Mr. Speaker, featured in those roads. And therefore, those are part of the administrative actions, Mr. Speaker, which I think county governments will have to do. Mr. Speaker, because I will get us, no, actually I didn't move the bill, therefore I won't get an opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to say many things, but I'm mindful of the fact that there is an opportunity elsewhere, including in the committee of the whole, to say any other things that I wish to say. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to second.
Thank you, Leader Majority, for seconding this motion. Honorable Senators, I now propose the question, that the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3, Bill, National Assembly Bills number 34 of 2025 be now read a second time.
Now, honorable members, this bill is now available for contribution by members. And Senator Samson Cherargei, you have a point of order.
I have the mic? Okay. Mr. Speaker, sir, I raise understanding order 110 of the Senate Standing Orders that I request that we defer the debate until when the House reconvenes, so that we can allow the majority leader to move an adjournment motion, considering that this roads amendment bill is very critical, especially for the whole House to continue debating, because looking at the time and today, upon the rise of the House, we are going for, in fact, not a recess, we are going for a working recess, because I know even Roads Committee will be meeting, park, visit county, visit, so we are not going to recess first. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request Senator Dr. Alexander Munyi Mundigi to second. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Take your seat, Cherargei.
I've requested to second.
Yes, I will allow Senator Mundigi the opportunity to second. Just hold. Senator Mundigi, you may proceed to second that motion by Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I second.
Now, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 110, I will proceed to propose the question that the debate on the motion be now adjourned to the time the House will resume. This is a procedural motion, and therefore, yes, Senator Eddy.
Mr. Speaker, I do share the spirit because it's a procedural motion, but I wanted just to indicate when I was moving the motion, I also did refer to the fact that this particular bill has got a stringent timeline because both houses of parliament must actually complete working on the bill by 27th of July this year. So I wanted just to beg through your seat that perhaps you can do a special sitting at some point during this recess so that you can process it and finish it so that National Assembly can have time to consider it on time and close up, given that National Assembly might also be overlapping in that last week on their recess. I just want to bring that to your attention, Mr. Speaker, but otherwise I support the adjournment.
Thank you. Actually, that's noted. Recall that we are resuming on the 14th of July, and therefore it will be very important also for you to bring to the attention once the House resumes so that we fast track the additional debate on it, and also because of the numbers as we are right now. So if we are then in agreement, I will proceed to put the question. Well, Honorable Senators, I now put a question that the debate on the particular bill be now adjourned to a future date. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Having dealt with order number 21, Honorable Senators, I will proceed for the convenience of the House